We are one day out from the censure of Paul Gosar for spreading a normalization of political violence targeted at AOC. But you can't even get one day away from that without more examples that is just the norm on the right. And we're going to give you a few. We're going to start off, unfortunately, with Marjorie Greene, who went on Steve Bannon's show to say this.
Joe Biden didn't win the 2020 election, and everything that we're seeing is the result of that. And those key states, mine, Georgia being one of them, listed as states that will definitely swing back Republican, is because we're Republican to begin with, not because we've turned blue. And we didn't elect Joe Biden in 2020. People are sick and tired of electing people over and over again that continue to fail us, continue to create more debt, and continue the long, slow slide into a communist country. And so I'm going to be pushing my party and holding my party accountable. We need a good plan that saves America and stops communism. And we need a good plan that restores America back to the republic that it was originally founded to be, because our freedoms are so precious, Steve, that we do not want to lose them. And the only way you get freedom back after you've lost it is with the price of blood.
So I am going to speak out in defense of Marjorie Greene very briefly, and that defense will come in this form. There are a lot of our officials who don't think about what they say and are not particularly bright people. They just start talking. And she is very much one of those people. So it is possible that, like Michael Scott, she had no idea where that sentence was going when she began it. But she got super specific, though. Like, if you just want to go into, we're making a long, slow slide into communism, and we need to get the republic that we had, and so we need to vote. Okay, that's fine. Doing some vague thing where, like, there's sort of plausible deniability if you're like, sometimes you gotta water the tree of liberty with the blood of tyrants. I mean, I'm not talking about anybody right now. I'm talking, like, founder talk. But she said, the price of blood. What are you, a Lannister? What are you talking about? Okay, I did just swear, so hopefully I can. Anyway, she makes me. So, the price of blood. What is the price of blood? Who exactly should pay the price of blood, Congresswoman Greene? Who will be doing the killing? Who will be doing the bleeding? They just move on. They just move on and start talking about their stuff. She went off on those Republicans who voted for the infrastructure bill. Because, you know why she did that? Because there was no question from Steve Bannon where he was like, hey, one second, it sounded like you were talking about politicians being killed. No, he doesn't care because he is as supportive of that as she is. And look, whether she means it or not, again, she knows what her base wants. What they want is threats of violence and vague, because what she gave them, like, look, she was very explicit about the blood and all that, which stands out from some Republicans. But most of what she said was very similar to a lot of them. It's something, something communism, something, something freedoms. No, which freedoms? Which specific freedoms have been infringed in which ways? What do you want to do to safeguard them? She has no idea. She has no goddamn clue. She just has vague, okay? I just swore again. I really hope that I can swear. Sophie, if you're listening to this and you're very mad at me for swearing, please post a comment and maybe I'll see it. Anyway, and here's the thing. Like, she sort of gets a little bit that sometimes you can go across the line, because later in the program, she was reading out the names of all the Republicans who'd supported the infrastructure bill, and she said, don't do any death threats. Like, think about what you need to know about your base to know that you have to tell, hey, now, I don't want to hear any death threats out of you this time. Because last time, they did, many of them, and they still will. She called them traitors. I don't mean before, I mean after saying don't do any death threats against these damn commie traitors. Okay, yeah, no, people are going to be really measured about the traitors. Anyway, she is not new to this. She indicated support for executing prominent Democrats back in 2018 and 2019 before she was running for Congress. I love consistency in our politicians. She still does it now. She liked a comment that said a bullet to the head would be a quicker way to remove Nancy Pelosi than voting her out. That's fun. She said we should execute FBI agents who were in the deep state. She liked comments about that. It's not actually saying it. Again, not very articulate, but she did like the comments. It's not just her, though. Other right-wingers are lining up to show their support for political violence. Now, this is going to be a bit of a throwback. You probably haven't seen Michael Savage in some time. He had, I believe, the shortest tenure of a host on... It wasn't Fox News, was it? Was it MSNBC? Anyway, he made a joke about somebody getting AIDS and dying and was canceled fairly immediately. Anyway, Michael Savage, who still has an audience right now on the right, he went on the Stinchfield show on Newsmax. That's a real thing. And here is how he closed out his section. He was being thanked for coming on the show, but he wasn't done just yet. Here's what he had to say.
Savage, always great having you on the program. Thank you, sir.
I'm
it's good to see you.
not finished yet. I have a prop for you.
Let me see the prop.
I have a solution to the problem. These are dueling pistols from 1865 from my antique gun collection. And it may come down to the fact, do I have to finish the sentence? I don't think so, but you get the picture. Because sometimes
You're gonna get me.
It doesn't matter what the truth is at all, Grant. All that matters is, right?
Well, Dr. Savage,
these don't even work. These are antiques. They don't work.
I know they don't even work. And I know you're not condoning violence whatsoever. I know your weapon is the same as my weapon, Dr. Savage. It's the truth and the Constitution. And those two things together with smarts up here, you got them, I got them. Together, as I said, Savage Nation, Stinchfield's Army, we cannot be beat. We don't need the weapons. We got it with our words.
He said a lot of words, but what I heard was backpedal, 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 backpedal. No, I know that you're not threatening violence as you point guns at the camera. What you're making a point about how the weapon is the brains, it's the smarts, which is why you're holding brains? No, wait, you're holding pistols. Why do you have two pistols? And why are you... Like, I'm not going to say that there isn't anything, at least hypothetically, cool about guns. I find guns to be interesting. I find firearm technology to be interesting. He managed to hold those guns in the literal least cool way I've ever seen. They're dueling pistols. They're antiques, and I have them. That's so weird. Now, look, I've had a gun pulled on me on air before. Dan Evans once pulled a pistol on me at the end of a show. He didn't call for political violence, though, which I found to be nice. And I just love Stinchfield. He is like so desperate to cover, because he had no idea, obviously. But he, in theory, could have. I mean, it is Michael Savage. He is out of his goddamn mind. That's why you're having him on. You may not have known that it would manifest in the form of drawing dueling pistols. But you knew something crazy was going to happen. Now... Oh, are we getting breaking news? Okay, we're gonna have to return to that. In any event, that Michael Savage said this is the solution to a problem. It wasn't just I have guns are cool. They had been talking about possible rioting or protests after the Rittenhouse verdict comes in, and he had a solution. Michael Savage had a solution, which is people should go akimbo. That's what they should do. And again, it's just more and more common now. There are some who are, this tied so closely to corporations that they're worried about lawsuits. That's why Stinchfield said what he did. Steve Bannon doesn't do the same thing because he's not worried like Newsmax is about being sued. But others, like Michael Savage, they know this is the only appeal they have anymore. You've spent decades scaring the hell out of people, so where does that lead? You tell them that these are literal Satanists, commie Satanists who run the government, run society, and they're coming for you. So at the end of the day, what do? Well, you can either tell them they have to hide, or at some point they're going to have to fight back, right? And that's what they've been telling them. And so that's why you're seeing this more and more commonly. Marjorie Greene is doing it, and Michael Savage is doing it, and Steve Bannon's talking about the chaos and all that. The grift is more bloodthirsty than it perhaps has ever been before.